Welcome back to Hell's Kitchen. It is crazy outside right now. You guys should see the McDonald's drive-thru. So today we're gonna stay home and make something that all of our friends can enjoy, we can enjoy. It's Vietnamese crab udon soup, Banh Canh. Now let's go through some of the ingredients. Now you guys don't have to worry, this is a long one, so I've listed everything down below in the description, so you guys don't have to pause the video. So first off, we have some quail. This is some crab. I didn't get any fresh ones today because we're just trying to use what we have in our freezer. This was some crab that I got sent from Vietnam. So, and also we have in our freezer some shrimp. So I'm just trying to get rid of stuff that's in our freezer. And here we have some pork hock. Pork hock. This is HEO, basically pork feet. Have some quail in water here, quail eggs. You can buy fresh, but I find that this is super easy. Just crack it up, rinse it a little bit, and just drop it in the pot. Super easy. And I have my fresh veggies here, kind of. This is some lime. This is onions that's gonna be dropped in the pot later, and onions, green onions and cilantro. Some toppings. And this is Jicama, spelled like Jicama but called Jicama. Củ sáng. This is what's gonna give it its distinctive Banh Canh flavor, and one more secret ingredient at the end. Another topping would be chả lụa, Vietnamese ham here, and I have some straw mushrooms, and this is some starch. I'm gonna use potato starch because I saw in another video. This is what most of the restaurants use. I could be right or wrong, it was what I was taught in a video, but you could use cornstarch, you could use other type of starch to thicken up your crab udon. Oh, by the way, today we are making the thick one, not the regular Banh Canh HEO. It's gonna be a thick one because we're making it with crab. And we have a couple udon bags here. I mean, if you're making a 10-liter pot, you're probably gonna need about 3 of these. This is just Banh Canh fresh Vietnamese udon. You can get the frozen one. I just prefer the fresh one just because fresh is most of the time better. And we have some pork blood. Now I'm a sucker for pork blood. I love pork blood in my bún riêu, I love it in my bún bò Huế, and I love it in my Banh Canh. Okay, so this, I really like this. And we have 2 secret ingredients today. The first one is annatto seeds. This is what's gonna make your Banh Canh that nice orangey color, that nice savory color. You guys will see later, we're gonna put this in some oil, just fry it up a little bit. It comes out this nice orange color, and this is what's gonna give you that nice distinctive Banh Canh and kind of bún riêu color. And this here is the other secret ingredient. This is cá khô, just dried fish. It was frozen, but we're gonna grill this up and dump it into the pot. Apparently this is what makes your Banh Canh broth sweet, even though it's dried and salty, but it's gonna sweeten up and make the Banh Canh broth wonderful. So let's get cooking. This is just a nice rinse. You can use salt just like you would with fish to get rid of the smell, but the first thing I'm gonna do is just rinse this. This is gonna be washed a couple times, and then I'm gonna dump it into a pot of water. And this is not the beginning of your broth. This is just to wash the meat. We're gonna boil it for at least 10 minutes and then rinse it with cold water and then redo the broth. This step, you usually find this step when you're making all sorts of broth, when you're making pho, when you're making basically almost any type of broth using pork bone. This is the same step you would do if you're making pho with your beef bones. Basically the same thing. Or chicken bones. Sometimes people do this with just chicken bones to get a really nice clear broth. So here we have our 10-liter pot. I'm probably just gonna put about 8 liters of water in here and not fill it up to the top. I'm gonna put back my pork hock here, back into a clean pot. So at the end, for the total for this 8 to 9 liter pot that we used, I used about 3 tablespoons of salt and 2.5 tablespoons of sugar. It really depends on you and your liking, how your family likes it. So adjust the taste, guys. Some people use chicken stock, some people add chicken stock, but I don't like to add artificial kind of, you know, flavoring to any type of broth, like, you know, MSG or anything. So I'm gonna stay away from this. And also, keep in mind that a lot of times people like to add more fish sauce at the end into their soup, so or as a dipping bowl. So you can always add more saltiness or any type of flavoring after, but you can't reverse it. So once it's in, so I would usually go lighter. As you guys can see here, we're gonna char our onions and our grilled fish here. Just kind of like with pho with the ginger and the onion, but we're just onion here and grilled fish. I wanna dump this in the pot after we grill it. I don't recommend this, but we left our grill somewhere, so we don't have a grill with charcoal, so we have to do this at home this way. So while that's going, I'm gonna prepare my jicama. I would do this just like I would with a potato, just peel the skin. This is a kind of a big one, but I didn't have any choice. So I'll also drop this into the pot. Now it's a waiting game. So my pot is boiling now. I'm gonna turn it down to medium-low heat and just let it simmer for about an hour, and it's ready to go. While during that time I can do all my other prep work. So now I'm gonna prepare the pork blood. I like to cut it into chunks first. Just nice and square or rectangular chunks here. Nice and small. Let's go this way. And I'm actually gonna rinse it and wash it in salt water. We're gonna rinse this first. Just get rid of all this dirtiness here. And then give it a couple rinses. And then I'm gonna soak it in salt water. And just leave this hanging out. Now I'm gonna prepare some of the other toppings to go on top of my Banh Canh. First, we're gonna open the can of quail eggs. I like a lot of quail eggs, so I'm gonna use 2, guys. And the mushrooms. I'm gonna give all this a really good rinse. And these are just toppings for my Banh Canh. You can put them together, they kind of shape together. I don't like to put this in my soup because the eggs can break and the mushroom can be a little bit mushy. So once you rinse this, just dump it in a bowl, and we're gonna dress everything per bowl. You guys will see in a bit. For this, I like my ratio just like pho. I do like 60 to 40, 60% green onions and 40% cilantro. Cilantro is like dirt cheap right now at like 33 cents. And we're gonna dump it into this bowl here. Cilantro, you probably want to cut off the ends. You use a little bit of it. I like it. Chop this up nice and fine. Now, give this a nice mix. You can cut lime in half here. I like a lot of lime, so I like it in half like this. But I mean, you can go into quarter. So we got 4 pieces here. And I mean, if you're really cheap, you can go into 1/8 here, 1/8, and we got 8 pieces for 8 people. So it really just depends on how cheap you are. Me, I'm gonna go like this, or maybe I could even cut this into like 16th or something. Yeah, you can have that piece here. Now, jab for me. The restaurants, I think, got it really going on right here. I really like the texture the way it is in the restaurants. So you want it nice and thin slices, like really thin here. Just because when you're eating it, and it's a nice thin piece, and you could pick it up with your chopstick and have everything in one bite, it's delicious. And I mean, if you have a huge chunk like this, and then you're gonna have to just take a bite of it every time, I find that's kind of annoying. So I think thin slices like this is pretty good. So we got here going on here. There you go. Kind of messed this one up, but you guys see, nice thin slices, and you can serve it to more of your friends. Cause yeah, you can have this one, Tony. All right, so we're gonna soup this up and put it here and get it ready for our Banh Canh later. So for our annatto seed, right here I'm gonna use about maybe 3 tablespoons of oil and 1 tablespoon of annatto seeds. And once this gets cooking, you can turn off the heat. This is what's gonna give it its nice color later on. A nice orangey color once these seeds gets popping. This should only take about 1 or 2 minutes, and then just turn off the heat. The heat from the oil will keep cooking. So you want to take just the oil and not the seeds. But yeah, you want to throw away the seeds here. You just want the oil. And now we're just gonna make it per bowl. If you want this nice thick texture, this nice thick Banh Canh we're gonna do per bowl. So I'm just gonna get enough broth just per bowl here, and dump it on here into the smaller pot. And we're gonna use a small. Let's use a small HEO. And this is when you dump in the Banh Canh. Because we're making it the thick way, the suck way I call it, we don't need to like rinse this Banh Canh here. All you really need to do is just dump it straight in and get it cooking. I'm gonna use about half a bag here just for one proportion. And once this gets boiling, what you want to do here is you want to get your starch going. So right here I have a little bit over 2 tablespoons of my potato starch. That's gonna thicken this up. So a little bit of warm water, and you want to mix this up. You don't want to dump this directly into the bowl, into the pot, because you're gonna get these lumps, but you want to do it this way. So I got this going on the side here, and this is gonna boil up and cook my Banh Canh. This is also when I want to add the pork blood and get it cooking. You want to cook the pork blood for at least 5 minutes. Now I'm gonna dump in my quail eggs. Use about 5. Some mushroom. And just let this all boil for about 5 minutes. So at the very end, I'm gonna add my starch to thicken this up here. It might not look that thick once you're cooking it, but once you put it in your bowl and let it cool down, it'll definitely thicken up. And we're gonna use about a tablespoon of this oil here. This gives it a nice color. You can use a little bit more if you want to for the gram. Just usually use just that much. Stir this up. See, as you guys see, it's already thickening up. And once everything is almost cooked, I throw in my ham here. And last but not least, the shrimp. The shrimp and the crab. Oh, look at all that crab meat. Yeah, we're gonna do that. I think my pot is nice and heavy loaded now. It's nice and thick. Look at that. After you guys see that the shrimp has curled up at the end, then you take it off the pot. It's not ready yet, but it will be. So we finally made our Banh Canh. You can use fresh crab, but we're just using whatever we have in the freezer. You can use fresh crab, it looks a lot better. Also, you can use dry squid for the broth. And of course here we have some fried onions. This goes great with Banh Canh and bung riêu. And of course I gotta have some ground pepper here. Sprinkle on some ground pepper. And the lime. The lime is very important for me because I like it sour. I gotta get that in there. Yeah. I like a lot of lime, so I usually use about half per bowl. And the secret ingredient of the secret ingredient. We got some Chinese donuts. Yeah. This is just like some pillow, some cushion to soak up the broth. Look at that. And you just go like this. There you go. Dip this up. Give it a nice stir actually. Get all the flavors together. Some quail egg. Oh, look at that. There's a lot going on in this dish. This has got As you guys can see, this is not like your regular Banh Canh. It's a little bit thicker. We used the potato starch to thicken it up. This is the way my mom made it for me back when I was younger. So we'll make it this way. And we have some pork here, of course. And the Chinese donut goes really well with this dish here. If you guys made it this far in the video, I want to thank you guys for watching. Swing by next time to see what else we're cooking. Until next time, bye bye.